Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We saw the first of our quarterfinals, Declan Brennan 9-4 up on Carl Sutton. And this is the second one. Shaun Chipperfield taking on Chris Day. Shaun was on the stream earlier on. Good victory against Christophe Lambert. It's a siding frame. Chris Day coming through. A bit more of a local clash against former practice partner Shaun Story. Not the ideal start there for Shaun Chipperfield. Makes a ball, but also makes the white ball. From initial lookout, the yellows look pretty good. It's just about landing on the one closest to the cushion, you think. And from there, I'd expect Chris to get out. And he's done exactly that straight away. One place that it gets a little bit awkward is if you leave yourself hampered, and I think Chris just rolled his eyes at that a little bit. Doesn't need to do too much with this white ball, just got to push it through a little bit. And he should be on the outer yellow to left middle. That's very good. From here, ignoring anything silly, Chris should be going 1-0 up. Yeah, very good start from Chris Day. See that stand-up break. Well, I mean, I'm shocked it's dry, but I'm also shocked that the white stayed on the table. Just look at this. So much airtime. It was in the air as it hit the cushion, but it does come up dry. So, first opportunity with hand on the table for Shaun Chipperfield. Somewhat similar to the last frame. Can't see too many problems. Both reds past each other. The two on the yellow. One goes to the bottom right, one goes to the left middle. And the other two, the outer one, goes into the bottom left-hand corner. So just slightly the wrong side is straight on this red. That's the only way that he was ever going to cause himself an issue. He's just trying to do the maths in his head here as to where he wants to leave this. Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't see him missing from there. Kind of drags the cue back over. Yeah. When I looked at the layout after Chris broke dry, for someone of Shaun's calibre, I thought they were gone. As it was, got a little bit lost in the pattern and trying to compensate with the cue balls, ended up missing the red. So now, good chance for Chris to get... Well, actually, first chance for Chris to just inflict a bit of pain on his counterpart. As we've seen throughout this tournament, even though there have been some twos and throws, these initial frames are still of high importance. to both players. You know, Declan Brennan in the last one had that 4-1 lead. Cole pulled it back, but it's hard to keep up that momentum once you go behind. And because of that, he kind of ran out of steam a little bit at 4 each. Declan found the gear again and ran out to 9-4, but for Shaun here, he's got to make sure that he keeps things close. You don't want to give too much emphasis to a man in form. Bundles of run inside on that just to get him close to the yellow on the top cushion. Oh, Chris. I was just about to say he was looking good at the start of this match and he's just thrown one in. Shaun can cut this red along the cushion to knock the one in over the pocket. It is slightly thin, but so long as he makes contact with the red, it should be absolutely fine. In fact, he's opted against it. The opening shot, and that works just as well. Gives himself a nice angle to come in behind it. And after initially taking his eye off of that red into the corner, Shaun Chipperfield gets away with one early. This 8-ball for 1-all. You can really see the difference in not just game style, but confidence. Shaun Chipperfield makes a ball, and the split is pretty good.
Really good chat with Shaun after his last round match. He was talking quite a bit about his break. It's always the key factor. He was going quite in detail about how he feels about it on this table compared to the outer tables. Feels that the control is more important than the power on this one, and he's certainly aware of it in the last match, though it did start going wrong for him. We look to see him play with more control.
And as you said that, he's immediately gone out of position. That's a little bit poor to land exactly there, to come in between. Either side, he's fine. Now, he's faced with potentially a very, very tough hampered pot into the bottom right, because I don't think this is cuttable. Interesting to see what he decides to do here. He's going for this thing, snick. Well, he's got the pot, but has he been a bit fortunate? Does that yellow does that red pass into the bottom left?
He's okay if it does. No, that tells us it doesn't. So is he? Well, it doesn't tell us it doesn't, because maybe he's got to squeeze it off the yellow to open up the other red, but it doesn't look good from our perspective.
It's extremely tight. Possibly even playing to a side of the pocket. But there you go. He's had 2 chances at the tables, Shaun, and he's played 2 really bad shots, it's got to be said.
Almost looks like he's struggling with his concentration a little bit out there.
It's long days, you know. Obviously, these guys started in the last 32 stage. They've essentially played 4 sessions to get here. And that, bearing in mind when most of them started at 10 o'clock this morning, we're now approaching that 8 o'clock at night point, so they've been kind of on and off for 10, 11 hours.
Chris in particular, whose last 16 match went out 2:30 and finished about 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, it almost becomes a question, Si, actually, of not just how good the player is and how consistent they are, it's how much stamina they've got.
Yeah, agreed. Mental stamina as well. They are just playing pool, so let's not get too carried away about the stamina, but it is hot out there and it is a factor.
Yeah, a couple of players have come through today that had towels, to be fair. John McAllister was using it yesterday against Phil. Declan was using it earlier on against Carl.
You mentioned John McAllister, he's on the brink of elimination. He was 10-9 up, I believe. He's now 12-10 down against Jordan Shepherd, who's one frame away. Winner of that match will be playing Craig Waddingham out here as soon as this match finishes.
Doesn't get any easier, does it?
No. Chris has gone through these nicely. Minimum of fuss. They were there. Still got to take them. Especially after the last one where he made a mistake at this stage. Make sure of this one. Get yourself back in front.
Yeah, very good. Chris. Oh, that's huge. How big was that? The jump off of the table as well. I want to get a replay of that. See how high this cue ball comes. I tell you what, Si, you can tell he's been playing with Tom Cousins. That was massive.
Yeah, he's worked on his break as much as anything. That was noticeable at the World Championships and the Pro Series before it.
I'll tell you what, I think he actually has been a little bit unlucky. I don't know, unless that red passes for the plant. Deserves to be on reds. Yeah, he's absolutely fine. Well, I say he's absolutely fine. I thought he'd missed that altogether then for a second. Just came off the bottom jaw and flicked in. Just playing this with a bunch of side, playing the gap. It's nice to get rid of this ball because you don't want to be coming down for it later. You just want to be coming down for the 8 ball. Gives you a bit more room with the white.
Nice angle here just to come across the diagonal. Plenty of room to land in.
He's short.
Wow. He did have plenty of room to land in. That's nowhere near.
I think he's okay. I think can he cut this and just get the white to the bottom cushion rather than putting it in the pocket? This is a tricky little 8. He's got it.
Right, ball's flying in.
Shaun,
Lost control, but he's hit it well enough.
he actually changed his break there. He was breaking with hand on the table. He's put his hand right back on the back of the cushion now. And it just seemed that he could generate that bit more power with it.
Yeah, that's what he said when he came into the studio after the last match. He said that putting his hand on the table was his way of controlling it, but it didn't really work. That was what he was going to have to try and figure out. He said he doesn't need the extreme power on this table. Looked tricky on the right hand side. 2 shots in, the work's done. His turn to be a touch short on the 8 ball, not as badly as Chris was. Still fairly comfortable. No mistakes with it. So a good break clearance for Shaun Chipperfield this time. He's doing that because it's so hot out there that he's just trying to clean it down, make it feel smoother in his hand.
Polar opposite of the last one. Didn't get the connection, didn't get the jump, and the white ball went straight in the top corner. Oh, he did get a little jump, okay.
A little jump, but dangerously close to the corner right from the outset.
Yeah. That good work that Chris put in to get 3-1 ahead could quickly be eradicated.
First shot, here's key. If he's going reds, he's got to get the red on the break line developed.
Bit like that.
How casual is he? He knows how quickly he plays from when he gets down on the shot to hitting. And that's where it's a real advantage. I mean, he didn't get down on the shot till there was 3 seconds left there. And he knew he wasn't panicking, wasn't rushing.
You love to watch it, but also as a play, you think, why couldn't I do that?
Yeah. Wanted to be a touch straighter because he wants to be straight in on this one. He could have just dropped in, gone for the higher centre, but now just has to. Oh, he's able to kill it in anyway. He killed it in a lot better than I thought he would.
We did mention it earlier, he's one of the best for killing the cue ball.
A very quick finish for him.
Yeah, he's found a break now. He's found one that's giving him that control, that measure. White ball was never going near a pocket there. Split was good. And another opportunity now for him to attack. He's just got to make sure now that he's got that emphasis, just don't take your eye off the ball. Did a little bit in that first frame when he, well, in the second frame when he had the red. There's going to be nothing more advantageous than leaving Chris cold for a few frames. Easy game, Si, isn't it?
Oh, it's just ridiculous.
came across it, but all in all, decent result.
You would take this. Yeah, that was a miss hit, complete miss hit as well.
The main thing for Chris here is just dictate your own pace. You've obviously just seen Shaun run at you at 100 miles an hour for the last 3 frames. Time now just to steady the ship a little bit. This is an awkward little layout. Oh, actually, if you can get to that red, it's not too bad.
Yeah, that made a huge difference. Now everything goes. Didn't play the best of cue balls there, but pushed the pot. 8 ball didn't go safe.
Yeah,
Cue 1 in now, and you'll be away.
He's kind of forced to leave it here just because he had to kind of spin it into the red. Good pot away here. Oh no. Once again, came across it just a little bit. This is what Chippy does. You know, Chris obviously wouldn't fear playing Chippy in any way whatsoever, but what Chippy does have the ability to do is just throw you off.
Taking a lot longer on this visit. It's awkward.
Yeah, it's because in this frame compared to the last, he's behind. Chris definitely has the advantage of the balls at the moment. That's it. Yeah, it's just going to go in off the lid jaw. But he's not really anywhere. He's got an awkward cut on the yellow, I think, into the top right. That's nearest the 8 ball.
Beautiful shot that is.
Not awkward if it goes right in the heart. Is he on the next yellow?
He's not quite come far enough. I thought he was on it.
So now he's potentially got another thin cut or a thin double. Going for the thin cut. Oh. Never looked in.
Missed that one by quite a long way by his standards.
Yeah, he almost applied a little bit more topspin on that than I expected, and because of that, he's missed it thick. But this is important now for Chris because, as I say, Chippy was relentless for 3 frames, and now that he has made that mistake, you've got to be able to punish. In the end, Chris is going to get there. Did give Shaun that half sniff at winning the frame, but Chris equalises at 4 apiece. big again, but that little cluster in the top half doesn't really help him. I think they do plant, so it's definitely not all lost, but if he is going to go for a plant on him, needs to get it right. Oh, Shaun.
Another one. You just don't expect it from him.
It almost just feels a bit like the Chipperfield tax in a weird way, that for all of the brilliance and all of the quick clearances that he puts in, just every so often, because of that pace that he plays at, he's just liable to throw one in. Chris has played a bad opener there, though. Leaving that red sat on the cushion all of a sudden has made this clearance 3-4 times harder. Especially where it's sat on that jaw. There's not really a lot he can do with it from there. And he's potted the white. Trying to pump it out. Needed to catch the other side of it, didn't. Missed the red anyway, but due to him missing the red, the white ball's found the wrong side and gone straight in off. Okay, it wasn't an easy clearance, but I would have expected Chris to get deeper into it than that. Shaun just going to play the loss of turn.
Loss of turn.
But actually, he's put his own yellow safe, so not the best loss of turn either. Okay, Chris is snookered, but if Chris gets out of this, actually Shaun's not really gained anything. And there you go.
Fairly easy get out as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Shaun can't play the loss of turn on the one to the bottom right because of the fact that Chris can still pot this red, I think, into the top right. So yeah, here we go. Shaun's now forced into covering that ball, and now that's just added extra time onto this frame. I think at the moment you would probably still give the advantage to Shaun, but at the same time he really had the opportunity there to put Chris under a lot more pressure than this. In fact, Chris has possibly got the snooker on him, which makes life even worse for Shaun. Didn't get the snooker, but just knock a yellow closer to that bottom left. Covers the natural pocket for the red that's closest to it. Just got too much into it. He's gone in off again.
Keep it on the table.
I don't know if maybe that's because of the fact he's come from the outer tables in, but didn't need to dig that much to be able to make the plant and get the cannon. But now that he has gone in off again and he's removed another red, Shaun now can play that loss of turn with a bit more insurance. Just got to top the white through here.
Loss of turn.
Okay, didn't but premise is still somewhat the same. Okay, Chris can see this red, but there's not really a lot he can do with it to attack the red up the table. So
yeah, bang in trouble really, isn't he? It's just a matter of time, you feel.
Try to get the white behind the red. Very small window. I maybe would have been tempted if I was Chris. Okay, you maybe give Shaun a sniff at the clearance, but potentially to actually put the other red up near the other. The reason for that is obviously if Shaun gets the snooker on you, okay, you need to get out the snooker, but if you get it, you actually have a chance to snooker back.
Well, he was playing the snooker there, wasn't he? But if he gets the snooker and gets cue ball in hand, what's he going to do with it? So you kind of need a way to be able to do the developing, or I suppose you're hanging in, hoping that you get some sort of gift at the end of the frame at the moment, from Chris's perspective.
Yeah, Chris has played a good shot there. I mean, he's still a long way away, but he's just managed to pick one yellow off the table. Just reduces Shaun's options slightly, but Shaun now getting that snooker now means that he is in a world of pain. But it is slightly poor of Shaun also to leave the one cushion for the red up there, because Chris has just got the snooker back, which always seemed likely if you left that one cushion. So
Be careful this time, because if he does give away cue ball in hand, he'll be able to get himself the perfect angle.
that's a good shot.
Let's play a breaker shot.
But there's just a couple of shots in there that I feel like Shaun's just made life a little bit harder for himself than he needed to. Yeah, Chris trying to go for another loss of turn there. I do like what Chris is trying to do. He's just trying to remove the options, and eventually, if he gets enough loss of turns, it would reach the point where Shaun would either have to go or have limited options. Another good snooker, but another one cushioner potentially. I don't know which way he's going here. Oh, he's going for the one at the top end, yeah. Bunch of swerve inside. He did get the red first.
Good hit. You sense at the moment Shaun's happy to keep containing, but he will get bored with this at some point. That was risky.
Yeah. I wondered if maybe he was going to hit that a little bit harder and try and send the red to the top cushion.
Almost certainly what he was trying to do.
Because actually Chris having a sighter at this, I don't know if there's anything he can do to get the red towards cushion. Although if Chris actually makes this and gets the white out again, then I don't know, maybe I was thinking a little bit too attacking there, but
Well, you're giving the frame away if you take that on off one cushion.
yeah.
Even if you make it, you need luck to get on the other ball.
I just love attacking Paul. That's all it is.
We haven't seen him do that for 10 minutes or so. This frame's going on a while now.
Yeah, it went from actually going at quite a fast pace when Shaun picked up the gear to all of a sudden we're now in this kind of lull period. That's an awful shot by Shaun, by the way, because Chris actually has half a chance here to land on the red. It's a very small window, but Chris can get there.
You straight away had overhit it.
Now what do you do? Do you go for a treble? I feel like hiding here you lose the frame. It sounds weird to say that, but Shaun's
Oh, he thinks it's touching. If it is touching, then it's so easy for Shaun.
I mean, even if it wasn't touching, I mean, all Shaun's got to do is get to the top cushion, and can't really see Chris getting free of the clutches again. It's just a little bit negative for me. Okay, going for a double there would have been tough, but when you're in the position where you've just got the one red left, chances are, unless you play an absolute inch-perfect snooker, you're not going to get the frame the way you want it to. That's a great hit.
A little double kiss means the yellow still doesn't squeeze by the red.
And actually now, despite me saying that you couldn't win the frame from a slightly negative shot, actually he's played a really good one, and he's now actually got Shaun in quite a bit of trouble. Shaun can't really hide any opportunity at Chris potentially knocking this off a cushion. So he's had to settle and essentially hope that Chris doesn't pot this off one cushion and give himself half a chance at the 8. He's going to hit it, and it's just made the cushion. Shaun could potentially push through on this yellow to the right of the 2. Just sit on the yellow next to it, which would leave Chris absolutely nothing.
Oh dear. Has he left a gap? No.
I think Chris can see it, but I don't think he can pot it.
I know the pots that Shaun's missed have been high tariff ones, but I don't think I've commentated on Shaun missing so many balls for a while. He's such a good clean potter, very rarely misses anything. That's clever. Double kissing it. If it's touching, he's been unlucky.
This time, I think he's not left it touching. Oh, well. That was close. He's played a good one there, though. Very close. You just seen the cue kind of wave about.
Not an easy shot to play, that. He's played it very well, separated those 2 yellows, not left the red on. Quite often a good ploy, if you're struggling to figure out an area of the table that's going to keep your opponent safe, get close to their ball.
It's Chris looking at kind of swerving this back on itself, potting the red. He is, and he got very close to it. Pot. Although he has let the white just run through that roll too far.
This long drawn out frame is going to come to an end. It's going to come to an end Shaun Chipperfield's favour.
That was big as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, slight change from the break he was using at the start of the match. Coming a little bit wider.
Did he cut break that? Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I wasn't sure because I think the previous one he tried. I don't know if he completely mishit it or he was trying to cut break the front ball on the previous break, but this one it was very much just a normal cut break.
It's quite dangerous as well, that the way that he plays it as well, because obviously he's almost stood up on the shot. He's trying to generate the power, and that's normally when you get that jump like he did when he made the massive break at the start of the match. Obviously, any jump on a cut break, you're going to see the white flying off the table. So it's maybe a risky mix, but thus far it seems to have worked for him. That's a lovely shot.
Extension code.
Would he wanted to have left the red on the right side cushion? I suppose he's okay, he can get down to it now.
It's not too bad. Maybe
He's not there.
I was a little bit interested in the fact that he left that red at the top earlier on. I felt like he could have played it rather than playing the cannon that he did straight away. But it's not bad. This has got to be played with some good control. Easy to lose this white.
It
Easy
just
to
sort
miss
of
the
went,
ball.
it went wrong when he couldn't get on that ball on the cushion earlier. We saw in the previous match with Declan Brennan and Carl Sutton, it felt tight and it felt like it was going to be tight, but then the shackles came off for Declan at the end, and I think Chris right now just needs to guard against it. 4 frames left. If he was to lose all 4, it'd be 9-4 down. Essentially what happened at the back end of the previous match where Declan won 5 straight.
Yeah, because when you look at the running of this match, Chris having that 3-1 lead, he's essentially lost from that point 5-1, which I'm sure probably won't play on Chris's mind too much, but he will be aware of the fact that Shaun's dictated a bit more of the play in recent frames.
In this session, free to play, and he has the chance here.
First one that he's had in a while where he lost control of it. Trying to get the proper oomph through the ball. White ball straight in the middle. And I said in the last match when he played Christoph that whoever came through was going to have to reduce that, get rid of that problem of the white going in the middle. It's first we've seen it ever in this match, but needs to make sure it doesn't rear its ugly head too much. Because this is a golden opportunity for Chris just to get a foothold back. Back at 6-5, I'm sure he'll be fairly happy.
Biggest disappointment for Chris at this stage is he's had chances within that period of time where he's gone from 4-1, was it 3-1 in front, finds himself 6-4 behind. He's had plenty of chances in those frames, the majority of them. There was a little 3-frame burst from Shaun, but he's had chances in the rest.
Because he started off so quick. The first couple of frames, and then he hit the monster break and the monster clearance there. He really felt in stride. Whereas since then he's just lost that kind of pace around the table that he had, because he was going at it a little bit quicker than he was now. Or than he is now.
Job done from Chris, needed that. Did not hit that particularly well.
You could see by the spin on it that he didn't quite generate the impact off the pack. He just slid off again. Shit, it almost wanted to start coming back up on itself, but nothing doing. Another tricky layout. Shaun just opting to put another red up there. And this is another one that could potentially drag out.
This one really could take a while to work out unless one of them wants to go. Since neither of them do, problem is whoever goes will be big second favourite for the frame.
That's the problem, is it's a bit of a game of chicken, isn't it? Who's going to go first? Who's got the patience?
Okay, so that sorts out the colours. One yellow, really, really tied up. And of course the 8-ball, all in the same cluster.
That's a great effort. It's unlucky. It's unlucky that the reds come across and cover the yellow into the top right. 8-ball's buried on that top cushion as well. So still a lot of work to do here, but do love the way that Chippy attacks. You know, ultra aggressive into them. There was absolutely no thought of lightly knocking that out. He's making sure that they burst out. The balls that he goes into the pack are separated.
Yeah, but it's exactly what we said at the start of the frame. The player that goes is going to become second favourite for the frame, and that is what's happening here. Unless he gets out, he's massive second favourite, and he's massive second favourite to get out from here.
The only way I could see he could get out is if he's straight enough on the yellow to the bottom left, could potentially screw into the 8-ball and leave yourself another long yellow into the bottom right that would give you a natural. I didn't see it the same way, but it would have given him a natural to come across for the awkward one and to play a bit of short position. A couple of tough pots in there, but it was a route.
Rice bar from Chris. Was he hoping that Shaun would keep potting there? I mean, obviously he's missed it. He wanted that pot to go in.
I think the one thing that Shaun has done there is just covered the optimal red to try and get the black and red out, which is maybe why Chris didn't go. I mean, in all fairness, with the layout, Chris probably feels like Shaun isn't going to get very far if he attacks. Shaun just setting a yellow towards the top left, making it a bit harder, but also offering a lever that if Chris does miss a pot or leave him in the centre of the table, that you could attack the 3 yellows.
Extension called.
There's been a couple of these frames throughout, hasn't there, Si, in this match that
It's just slowed it all up. This frame goes on too much longer. There's danger of us not completing. This is the penultimate frame of the match, but of the session rather.
and I think that's maybe why we've seen Shaun struggle a little bit more as well. It's just killed that momentum that he had. And I don't really feel like it's benefited Chris either. Okay, you'd maybe say on a patience level and on a natural game style that maybe it favours Chris a little bit, that kind of patience side, but at the same time, I mean, both of these boys would just want to be free-flowing, be playing open pool. Neither's really been offered that option. Chris maybe deciding to go here.
Got 2 bad balls and the 8-ball.
Well, one bad ball he can get rid of now because he can pot this in the middle. It's one of the awkward ones to land on out the way. But well, he tried to go for the yellow. I'm a little surprised by that, just because the yellow being to the left-hand side of the pocket, it was never a nice angle to topspin into. I was thinking he might have dropped that in and then maybe screwed into the red and the 8 with quite a bit of venom. As it is, it's gone wrong. But luckily for Chris, with so many issues at the top end of the table, there's still enough room to give Shaun an opportunity and know that it's going to be really tough to get out. Shaun might have the option of a loss of turn here. Just wondering if he can plant the yellow and the red on like that and deliberately stunned it so that the red he was cannoning into went safe as well. Clever. Chris hasn't got the loss of turn either. That red's stuck on the 8.
Lost of turn.
No loss of turn back.
Shaun might go here. Double or a pot on the yellow on the break line and get the cue ball across to the right hand side. You're going to pop the 8 ball and play. You just got to be careful not to pop it in, actually.
I think he's got enough freedom to play the double.
No, he's going the other way, just containing.
Yeah, 'cause if ignoring the beeps. Once you, I think once you play that double, you can kind of top the white onto the right-hand side cushion. Obviously, from there, even if you miss it, Chris doesn't have a pot on the red. But if you make it, you've got a great natural angle. So, am I a little surprised he didn't go for it? Maybe, but it's one of those that when you've played quite a negative frame, it's kind of hard to get out of that mindset. I think you need to play safe and play the extra shot.
Only 3 minutes 50 left. No 15 seconds a shot, so the clock is really running out here. But this frame will finish whatever happens. The question is whether we'll get another one in.
You just sense that Shaun wants to attack here, and I think he's going to. Oh, what a shot that is.
How good is that? Oh, so clever.
I saw it straight away, just the way that he queued up to it, I could just tell he was going to be aggressive and use the side cushion.
That was fantastic, and it means he will go to sleep tonight in front in this match.
Oh, that's just brilliant, isn't it? He top spins it.
Shaun wins it. 8-5 lead overnight. I think all players would take that, wouldn't they, after one session?
Yeah, I think especially as Chris went ahead early as well, I think you've got to be realistic in your ambition. You know, it wasn't the fact that, I mean, Shaun did have a bit of a slow start, but Chris had a very good start, and you've got to be prepared that your opponent at some point is going to have a bit of run at the table. So the fact that Chris had that early, I feel like Shaun's, you know, from there won 6-1, which obviously is a big change. Big momentum swing.
6-2, wasn't it? It was 3-1, wasn't it?
Yes, 6-2,
6-2,
my
yeah.
apologies.
Still a good turnaround for him, and he's got an opportunity to make it 7-2.
Yeah, I mean, 8-5 from here would be a great result for Shaun. For Chris, it wouldn't be damning, but at the same time, it would be enough to probably play on his mind overnight.
A lot of thinking was done there by Shaun Chipperfield. In the end, he's decided he doesn't fancy the finish. Can't blame him for that. Really, problems again at both ends of the table.
Good pot. Nicely come round. Main issue now is going to be the 8 ball. You feel? I think the red at the top's not too bad because it's got quite a nice ball to come across for it.
Station call.
Oh, wow.
Yellow first. Didn't look like it was that tight, in all honesty.
No.
Just a misjudgment.
I mean, once again, similar to the last frame, that black and yellow together are horrible for Shaun. He did play a very good screw shot to get ball out earlier today. Went for it again, got the 8 out, but not the yellow. tough to get both of them out. And once again, Shaun's going to have to chase this a little bit. Don't know if you can see the yellow into the bottom right. If he can't, it's a very thin snick in the middle. Thing is as well, where he's developed that 8, it's covered the natural angle for a double as well, so there's no really a real available pot unless he moves it or lands behind it and plays it all the way down the rail, which would be a horrible shot.
He's going to try and do something though.
He's got to do something now.
Can't really pull back.
Potentially just drop this in and play a very tough.
How calm is that, by the way? The beep start and he continues to walk around the table to have a look. Doesn't turn around.
I'm just wondering, I think it would have been nice if he'd had another half a roll on this. If I could have backed anyone from a similar angle to this to screw it off the top cushion and somehow get into that yellow, it would have been Shaun Chipperfield. Because he gets serious action on that white ball. Instead, maybe a double now. If he screws it, I think he can straighten the yellow up enough. Talking a double into the top left. No. Looking at the yellow at the bottom. Yeah, that was small chance.
Where's he going now?
Your guess is as good as mine. Maybe 2 cushions in the left middle. I don't see an easy way. Or he did go for the double. Just a little surprised he just didn't take the shot before, if it was there. Because that felt like a more realistic chance of making that ball, and you always had the yellow on, rather than playing what was essentially probably a 1 in 20 positional shot. Fairly sure that Chris will be a relieved man if he gets out 7-6, because there were a lot of signs at 4-3 that this could have quickly got away from him. He's hung in there, having not really played his best stuff, and he's 3 balls away from being 1 behind at the break.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I know he was 3-1 up, but you feel like he's been hanging on. 7-6, all to play for.
I think what Chris has got to be aware of is that it's likely tomorrow that the balls are going to be less scrappy. So he knows when he gets his chances, he's going to have to take more of them. Shaun let him off the hook in a couple. But you just know that tomorrow's another day. And this 8 ball for 7-6.
It is. Really intriguing session of pool. I wasn't expecting it to play out that way, the way that Shaun played in the previous round, where he was very close to really flying away and playing at a quick pace. It never really happened. He just had that little spurt for 2 or 3 frames. Other than that, it was gritty match play pool. 60 minutes on the match clock. Chris Day needs 8. Shaun Chipperfield needs 7. Chris Day has the first opportunity. Very fortunate to keep the cue ball on the table, actually, but he won't care about that. He has a chance.
The power he's generating through the break at the moment is leagues above the original Chris Day break that he had a little while ago. That kind of stand-up action, the way that he then fires through the ball and throws his body at it, in all fairness, as I think seen him gain more results. I think it gains him more opportunities in most matches. I think yesterday actually was a good example of that, where Shaun played pretty well in the first session, and despite Chris making the quicker start, obviously Shaun went on his run midway through, but that break just gave him that opportunity when he needed to, just to steady the ship, and because of that he got back within one, whereas previously I think, based on the generation of his options, he maybe wouldn't have got that before.
Easy for you to say, Luke.
Yeah, just lost the ability to speak there for a sec, but
that's because you've got a mountain of sandwiches and food in front of you.
You're not meant to tell that to the stream, are you?
A little peek into the commentary box here.
It's just an inch straight.
Yeah, I think he is. I think it would have been better to have been just an extra turn. But it's not really a problem, but it's not a great last ball for the 8-ball either. He needs to move the cue ball across the table for the 8.
Oh, well.
Those last 2 shots weren't the best. He's still in with a chance, but it's all of a sudden tricky.
Yeah, it's quite a thin cut in the middle. You don't want to be close to the cushion with it because it's hard to make sure. You normally drop these in dead weight, but he's got to get across as well, so the factors on this shot are a little bit higher than they initially seem. And that is why he's not landed on the 8-ball.
Done all the hard work in the first 3 shots. From there, he's got to get out, and quite poor not to.
Yeah, I mean, where do you put this 8-ball? I don't think it's a good double. I don't think he can cut it. See where he's going now. I think he is looking at a double. This is tough. Well, that's great.
In the studio, he felt that at 9-4 up, it was anything but certain, and he's still 5 away at that point, and it can turn around.
Deck is very measured, and obviously he'll know the threat that Carl poses. I would never expect Deck to think any less. I think until the game's over, he'd still think that Carl would have a chance. But
I also did exactly as you requested. I asked him about his coaching from Ronan McCarthy. He said there was no coaching.
Yeah, you keep saying that, Deck.
So he took some 50s off him. That was the coaching.
I've always been a Ronan McCarthy fan.
Shaun Chipperfield's first chance of the day then.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we want to see, isn't it? I think this one got a little bit bogged down yesterday. We want to see both players make a quick start here, because for both Chris and Shaun, they probably admit that they've got tougher tests ahead if they get through this round, so they're going to want to be sharp and ready, which obviously if they both play a good final session here will definitely set them up for that. Obviously the winner of this plays Deck, don't they? So Deck probably being probably the form player of the weekend. i.e. the one that's looked the most comfortable getting through each round.
Nobody's got close to him.
And this has been a good start from Shaun as well.
Fine.
No control on the rake just yet, but good power.
You know, we always say with Tom's break that, or Tom Cousins' break, that he doesn't always have the control, but the power gets him his chances and gets him matches.
Extension called.
Obviously, Chris working with Tom. I'm not surprised that his break's kind of gone down this route, but the rewards could be very similar. Yellows look very good here. 8-ball passes into the left-hand middle as well, which also does him a favour.
No balls in play.
One at the bottom of the table doesn't really fit. As in, you'd like the one nearest the right centre as last ball. So if that one at the bottom of the table wasn't there, you'd play straight in, bottom right, last ball, and you're on the 8. So he's going to have to do that, but leave the yellow at the bottom, and then he's still plenty of room. He'll just track 1 or 2 cushions onto it, but it doesn't really fit the pattern. But that's sort of, when you're identifying your last ball, it's not the one you'd pick, but it's the one that will work.
Yeah, I mean, he can. I mean, if he wanted to, I suppose he could play down now onto that bottom one, come down the left-hand side. Or he just comes in straight on the one to the right-hand corner, rolls through and leaves himself high. Yeah, so he's gone with option 2. So all he's got to do really is pot the ball here, just give himself that high angle. And where he'll come back up the right-hand side cushion, he's got a fair amount of room for error because he can land high if he needs to.
Oh, it's a poor one. It's a poor one. It was absolutely perfect there.
You know why he's missed that? It's because the white ball was always going slightly to the cushion. The way that...
But if he makes the pot there, it comes off the cushion more. He gets that high angle naturally. Just don't... It was a poor miss, because if he was trying to hold it, you understand why he was missing it, but it's a poor one simply because the centre pocket worked better than where he missed it.
Yeah, I think it was maybe just in his mind, maybe he just got the judgment wrong, but the way that he played it, in my mind, I think he's looked to try and get the white off the cushion a little bit more, and because of that he's gone to a side of the pocket, which is why he's missed it. But as I say, it's still a poor miss. He did have the balls out in open play. And it's little mini mistakes like that. Okay, he didn't really give Shaun an easy chance from that point on, but little mistakes like that are going to be what potentially cost Chris. Shaun's got a good snooker there, and he's managed to open up the reds around the 8-ball as well, so Chris knows that he's got to hit this and either make a ball or get it safe. He's done well not to drop the white, to be fair. This is a little awkward one for Shaun to get started. Great pot.
A bit short of the pace he wanted. Controls it well down the table. Now he is in prime position.
Yeah, this has been good from Shaun. Quick clinical start, opens up a 2-frame gap. Every, I'll probably say 5 or 6 frames, it's got to be said. He's not doing anything majorly wrong, but...
Break from Shaun. Always eye-catching when he parks it like this.
Yeah, he went back to that hand on the table break as well, didn't he? He's kind of...
It's a control break. When he goes hand on the table, he's going control. It always looks good when he's breaking that way. Still spinning.
He was really trying to force that into the yellow and red, which is surprising.
Missed his target by quite a distance as well.
Yeah. Got so many yellows around. I'm very surprised he went for it so early. I mean, he could potentially screw into it here if you're feeling a little bit outlandish. Got the yellow over the bottom left. There you go, and then he just didn't generate the spin on that one. Has he been fortunate? I think he has. I think he's got a bit of angle here to go into it.
This is not what he was playing for. He wouldn't play that close to the yellow.
That's not great. Not got a good angle here, and I think it's too close to the cushion for a double. Maybe he feels...
Station call.
I mean, one thing that Shaun is good at doing is getting absolutely rakes of side on the cue ball. So I wonder if he can just pot the one over the pocket and hold it enough to leave himself a shot at the one down the rail. That's pretty good from where he was.
Yeah, rakes of right.
Tough pot though, hampered over the black. And there you go. And now that's kind of one mini mistake each.
I think Chris Day's was more than a mini mistake in all honesty, but this was a finish from Shaun that was just always struggling, always chasing, always felt like it was going to get away from him. Chris has got a punish here though by winning this frame.
Yeah, can't afford to fall 10-7 down. Give your opponent that confidence, especially coming in just one behind. Wanted to slip past it, hasn't achieved it. Has still got this down the rail. I think he can just almost drop this in, which, if he can do that, I'd fancy him to pot it. Okay, you leave a slightly tougher next red, but more than well within the Chris Day territory. Is he going middle here? That was tough.
That was really, really tough.
I think if you're there, I think you've got to back yourself to pot that down the rail. I know, once again, it wasn't easy, but I would have backed him to make the couple of pots there to get out. And Shaun's just going to eat up that mistake.
Fine.
Losing control of the cue ball in the first two breaks this time. Fully punished for it.
Hard money.
Yeah, it's not good signs for Chris, that. Because as I say, what's really kept him in this match so far has been the ability of how big that break has been. Going in off here, especially with the splits he's making, are likely to cost him frames. Shaun's got a good opportunity here to really set some distance between himself and his opponent.
Is that far enough?
Yeah, I think he's fine.
He's happy. Down quickly.
Oh, that's loose though. Just rush that a little bit. Should be fine. So good at playing those drag shots with siders, Shaun. I think he's one of the best I've seen at it.
Play. 11 frames to set.
6 frames in. Or is he going to go dry here? Yeah, that red's not going to make it. So important now for this for Chris. 12-7, no way back really. 11-8, you're still in there.
Levels of play.
It's the perfect chance, the perfect time for him. Things slipping away. Shaun Chipperfield on the break would have feared 12-7. Gets an opportunity, and it's not just an opportunity, it's one he'd have to make a big mistake in not to make a clearance here. It's just connecting dots. Natural pattern. Hard to really go wrong.
Yeah, the one over the top right is just going to unlock all of the work at the bottom end of the table. Kills this cue ball somewhere near the blue spot and it should be frame over. Yeah, that's pretty good.
A little bit short. Straight in left centre I thought was the order of the day. He's got just the high angle on it, means he can't take it now. Now he's at the low angle.
I'm a little bit surprised he tried to play twice across, I think, or use the side cushion. I felt like he could have just held that. Just had to move it a couple of millimetres past the 8, but obviously decided he needed to, it's no problem. And in the end, it's been a good response from Chris. Once again, he's kind of taken the barrage from Shaun a little bit. And held his own. Oh, he's found that break again.
Extension called. Yeah, levels of play.
Tiniest amount more work in this one than the last, but still one he should get.
Yeah, it's just that yellow below the 8 ball, isn't it? You just need to calculate how you're going to get there. The only obvious pocket for it is the right middle. It's just that red near the 8 spot that somewhat plays big in the finish. Could try and come across for it now. I like the idea of holding off and using one of the yellows in the middle to come down for it instead. Oh, he's played it lovely though. Yeah, brilliant.
Play.
Back to back.
Blue frames for 9.
Since he's gained it, he's just been such a force this year. You know, on the Pro Series, he's had a quarter-final and a semi-final. British Open, he got to the quarter-finals. He's in a quarter-final here. The consistency's finally there. Whereas before it, he wasn't quite having the run to back up the form. But he is going to need a favour here because Shaun's got a good opportunity to open up a free frame gap again. And this is the problem you've got to deal with Shaun Chipperfield. Chris has just played 2 great frames, taken them out really well, and within 60 seconds, one of them is going to be taken away again.
It's the pace does matter as well. I talked to Shaun about that earlier this week.
You know, if he can do what he did in the last 2 and try and take out two in a row again, obviously he needs a favour from Shaun in that. But you know, even if Shaun gets 13-11, for example, Chris can win 3-0. Chris can take 3 frames in a row. He's got no problem with that. But it's just, for now, he's got to keep himself within range and hope that the closer that Shaun gets to that finish line, there's just going to be something that gets in the way for him. And he needs to keep generating chances like this off his break as well.
That was a good first shot. Getting there was key. He was a touch straight. Just kind of really forced a nice angle without really having to overhit it. Now he can just pick these off. This is just about the last shot on this visit that can go wrong.
Yeah, he does just want to hold the white where the yellow is. He doesn't want to run too high. So just stunning it makes the pot slightly missable.
Slight deceleration, but it's going to be okay.
Still okay. I think he can just kill this in. Oh, he is digging, so. slightly overcooked that. Should be okay. Yeah, this is... After that early mistake from Chris, the standard's really gone up a level. The only thing that he needs to focus on and what Shaun does is when he makes a mistake. Ooh. And that is exactly what Chris Day would have hoped for, because that break is huge as well.
Look at the layout. Look at the layout.
That's a brutal little kick in off from the yellow. Calling his extension early. He knows this is a big visit now. Big difference between 13-10 and 12-11.
Looking at the yellows.
Yeah, the red on the bottom cushion is the reason you wouldn't go reds.
Well, my first thought was reds, but I know he's looking at yellows the way his eyes were darting around the table, but I like the reds.
He's changed his mind.
I like the reds because you've got red right centre just and all the room in the world to get on the one at the bottom. That one at the bottom of your last ball.
Oh,
that's not bad.
I think he's okay.
Yeah, it's not. He overhit that shot quite a lot.
Yeah, that red does still pass into the left middle. It just stopped in time. So
if he was straight here, it would be fine because you'd take the one to the middle and then you've got top right to connect to the one to the right centre. Remember, right centre is your connection down the table, so he's going to have to pull this back and get almost the same angle he's got now, but from wider to left centre. Really surprised at that. I suppose you can still use left centre. You're just going to have to go the gap between the 8-ball and the yellow.
It's actually, yeah, it's quite a nice shot because you can come in behind it using the one over the right middle. Just got to make sure you leave yourself that kind of that angle there, essentially. I felt like he could have got a little bit closer to it. Maybe would have just made it an ounce easier, but just got to be careful of not getting a bounce out as well with these. Yeah, that's very good. I think he's just low enough that he can get the white away from the cushion enough. And this is a big steal once again in the context of the match for Chris Day. This 8-ball to get back within 1 at 12-11. Chris Day on the break. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, you're kidding me.
One.
He was looking away as well.
I think fair's fair, I guess. Shaun had it.
Oh, he's had 3 kicks to go in off. That is so horrible. And I don't think he even knew until he turned around. And look at the split. Oh, that makes a huge difference in the match.
Chris is sitting there in disbelief. Shaun's saying, I had that happen to me in the previous one. Shaun, in truth, was closer to going in off direct, but it was still a brutal kick in off. This one was as bad as it gets.
Well, he's actually gone slightly wrong there. I think he wanted to try and get rid of the bottom 2 first. Just got to play the one in the middle now. Is he on the cushion? It's not ideal.
It's a poor shot. It's 2 poor shots on the trot from Shaun.
All of a sudden. Yeah, this is a big moment in the match, this, because Shaun kind of needs to get out.
He's okay if he pots the bottom one with a bit of running side, try and get to the left-hand side of that yellow. Is that shot on?
I think he's actually a bit higher than you think, and I think because of that, the white's going to want to run up the table.
Was he playing a little flick?
Maybe. Yeah, the tariff of this has just gone way up. I think he can still cut this in and maybe come round to near the bulk line on the left-hand side and leave himself a long 8-ball. That's where I'd be looking. Oh, he's done well. He's done so well. Loads of check side on that. And he is going to get out. And that is a killer in off for Chris Day.
May not get back to the table.
Took a bit off that, I think, but does make a ball. Makes a couple.
Tricky first shot if he wants reds or yellows.
I think yellows might be the ball. I think if he goes for the one down the rail, I think he can either come low or high.
I think reds are a better layout.
But if you've got the opening pot, see, this is tough. He has played it well though. From here, you'd back him to get out, but this is the quarterfinals of the Masters.
Extension called.
This clearance actually does make a difference if the readies. Oh, actually, it's absolutely fine. One roll further than he would have liked.
Agreed. He was playing top left as his last ball. I still think he'll do that.
Yeah, just settle at a bit more distance, but you never like it, do you, in a frame to win a match where things are slightly harder than they needed to be. He's pretty straight on it. And it's going to be this 8 ball for a big result for Shaun Chipperfield. This has been a big test today against Chris Day.
In it goes, though. Great match. Really was a great match. So much going on out there. Twists and turns. High quality as well, as you expect, in the quarterfinals of the Masters. But we now know our semi-final. Our first semi-final will be the man on the screen there, Shaun Chipperfield. And he has Declan Brennan for company.